Last week, I did an unboxing of a pair of light brown shoes from the Artista line of TLB Mallorca. I'm going to make a series of videos about these shoes. To me, light brown shoes aren't the most versatile shoes to wear. So in the next video, I'm going to show you exactly how I plan on wearing them. But in this video, I'm going to show you how I mirror shine a pair of light brown shoes. Intro. You should come rolling my Yo, what up? My name is Vladimir Riché from chaseandrider.com. It's crazy how often I talk about shoes and I haven't made a video about how to shine shoes yet. So in this video, I'm gonna show you how to mirror shine a pair of light brown shoes. In my experience, black shoes and dark brown shoes are the easiest shoes to take a shine. But when a pair of light brown shoes get a mirror shine on it, not many things look better. So we're gonna do that right now. So usually when I shine my shoes, I first brush the shoes to make sure that they're clean. Then I use some renovateur just in case if the shoes are dry. And then I use some cream polish. And then I finish it with some wax polish. But in this case, the shoes are brand new. We're not going to use any cream polish. Cream is usually when you want to add color to the shoes. Like for example, if the shoes have a scratch and you want to even up the color, or if you want to darken up the shoes a little bit. But what I'm going to do is use a little bit of renovateur, and then I'm going to use some wax polish to add the mirror shine. So the first thing you want to do, you want to use a rag. So what I do is I get 100% cotton t-shirt, and then I cut them up in like 5 pieces. Like you want the pieces to be about 3 inches really. That's a pretty good size. And then you have 5 pieces of shoe rags, you know what I mean? The first thing you want to do is take the laces off the shoes. So let's do that right now. When you're taking the laces off, it's always easier to take the shoe trees out of the shoes first. Usually when you get a pair of brand new shoes, they always come lace in this style. But one thing that I don't like is when the laces show underneath. I like it to be more clean. So when I'm done shining the shoes, I'll show you exactly how I lace my shoes. Now that I took the laces off, the next step is to put the shoe trees back in the shoes. It's very important when you're shining your shoes that you leave the shoe trees in. I made this mistake when I first started shining shoes, where I would stick my hand inside of the shoes as I'm shining them, and my hands would cramp up. It was very, very uncomfortable. What you want to do, you want the leather to be as extended as possible. So you put the shoe trees back in the shoes prior to shining them. So very important step. Alright, so as I was saying, first thing we're going to do is put the Sapphire Renovateur. So you grab the rag and you put it over your 2 fingers, the index and the middle finger. You hold it tight and you twist your hand like this. And then you just wrap this around your hand. Now, one thing that's very important is you want this part to be flat. You don't want this part to have any folds, because if it has any folds, it's going to mess up the mirror shine. So you want this to be as flat as possible like this. So I'm going to apply the Sapphire Renovateur. It makes sure that the leather is not dry. You don't have to put that much. Just want to tap your finger like so. And then you just apply it to the shoes. Now I know that this leather is not that dry because I know exactly when these shoes were made. But just to show you, when you get brand new shoes, you should always apply some Sapphire Renovateur to the leather because you have no idea how long those shoes have been sitting. So that's it for this one. We're gonna do the same thing to the other one. Once again, you don't have to put that much. And you want to rub it all over the shoes. You want to make sure it gets into all those creases. You can even apply a little bit to the sole as well. The sole is leather also, so that's it for the Sapphire Renovateur. What you want to do at this point is let the shoes sit for about 10 to 20 minutes. And then once the 10 to 20 minutes pass, then you give the shoes a nice brush. So we're going to fast forward it 10 to 20 minutes, you know what I mean? Alright, so the 20 minutes is up. So now I'm just going to grab my brush and give the shoes a good brushing. You want to make sure that the brush is getting between the shoes and the welt. And that's pretty much it. You don't have to go crazy. I didn't put that much renovateur to begin with. So this looks pretty good to me actually. The next step is to add the wax polish to the shoes so that we can start building that mirror shine. This is not the way that I would usually do it, but I was watching Preston from the Elegant Oxford, great menswear YouTube channel. But one way that he found that worked for him is by putting about 7 to 10 layers of wax with about 10 minutes and then start adding water and more wax. So I'm going to try that just to see if it works for me. Might as well experiment, man. Shining your shoes is fun, shouldn't be too stressful. It's always nice to try new things, you know what I mean? So let's get to the fun part of it. The wax that I'm going to use is a cognac wax. You can see the name of it here. When it comes to waxes, it's very hard to find one that's an exact match. What you really want to do is find something that's close to it. And you can also experiment. Sometimes you might want to make the shoes a little bit darker, so you would use a slightly darker wax. But in this case, man, I'm just gonna use the cognac brown because I think that's the closest to the shade of the shoes. And once again, the way that we're gonna do it, we're gonna put about 10 layers of wax on the toe of the shoes. If you're wondering why I'm concentrating just on the toe, when it comes to a wax polish, you really don't want to put it where the shoe flexes. So you don't really want to have it all on the vamp because what's going to happen is the wax is going to crack. So you really want to concentrate on the toe. You can do it on the back quarters really, but those are the only spots that you really want to concentrate. You can put a little more all over the shoes, which I plan on doing, but I'm really going to concentrate on the toe, and that's how you get a good mirror shine. And you want to make sure you get in the edges. You don't want to miss any part. You want to spread the wax evenly over the toe. I'm not really counting, so I don't even know how many layers that I've put in so far. And I know a lot of people like to use their bare hands so they can really feel the wax. I do that sometimes too, but when I'm recording, being that I have to operate the camera, I don't want to touch the camera while my fingers have wax on them. So I'm just going to use the rag. Now let me get a little bit of wax all over the shoes. I'm not going to use as much like I use on the toe. Back. This is a good part to put the wax too because you know for a fact the heel is not going to flex. And put a little bit more on the toe. So I think that's it for the toe for now. You want to put that aside and wait about 5 to 10 minutes. While I'm doing that, I'm going to do the other shoe. And you want to keep building that polish by putting more wax on. Alright, so that's it for this one. So it's been about 10 minutes since I got done with the first shoe. You want to move to a new section of the rag, a cleaner section. Now this is when the real fun begins. The way that you're going to get the shoes to get a mirror shine is by applying a little bit of water and a little bit of wax. You're going to be doing this for a while depending on how shiny you want the shoes to be. This can take a half an hour, this can take an hour, this can take a couple hours. Once again, it really depends on how shiny you want the shoes to be and how much of a mirror shine are you trying to get. The key to getting a great mirror shine is by using cold water. In my case, I'm using an ice cube that's been melting, so this is very, very cold water. So you want to wet the rag a little bit. Like you don't want it to be too wet, as you can see. So right now it's a little bit too wet, so you want to Get some of the excess water off, and then you want to start rubbing the toe. The next thing you want to do is start to incorporate some of that ice water. So you just tap the ice cube, not too much, until you start building that shine. So once again, this is going to take a little while for you to start seeing the results. And you just keep going, man. Don't stop. You don't want to rub it too hard. You want to rub it as if you're rubbing an eggshell. So you got to be kind of gentle. The key to getting a great mirror shine is you have to be patient. So I'm going to put a little bit of water all over the shoes, since I did put a little bit of wax on that part also. Just not as much as the toe where we're really trying to get that mirror shine. Once again, you don't want to put that much water. Just enough to help the wax build that shine. As you can see, the shine is starting to form on the toe of the shoe. It may seem kind of tedious, but if you want the results, you just gotta keep going, man. Alright, we back. While I was recording, my camera's batteries died on me. My backlight's battery died on me. But I was able to get both shoes done. As you can see, there's a mirror shine now on both shoes. In my experience, shoes that have been worn a couple times are usually easier to get a mirror shine on than brand new shoes. It could be that I'm not that good at it. Maybe that's just me, you know what I mean? But in my experience, it's always easier to shine shoes that have been worn versus brand new shoes. But I don't think I did that bad. This is not the greatest shine I've ever done, but I think this does the job. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. But what I did was, first I used some Sapphire Renovateur just to make sure that the leather wasn't dry. Brushed them after about 10 to 15 minutes. And then I applied about 10 coat of wax on the toe. Let that rest for about 10 to 15 minutes again. And then I started to add water and more wax in order to get to the mirror shine. What do you think about the mirror shine? You think that's pretty good? The only thing left to do now is to put the laces back on the shoes. And like I was saying before, I don't typically like the way that most shoe factories lace their shoes. So I'm going to show you exactly how I lace my shoes. So the first thing that you want to do is to take those shoe trees off. And the way that I do it is pretty easy. There's really nothing special about it, but it's one of my pet peeves whenever I can see the laces in between the eyelets. Anyway, you'll see what I'm talking about. So you just insert the shoelaces in the first set of eyelets. The only thing that you really want to do here is you want to make sure that they're even on both sides. So right here they're pretty even. I'm just going to pull it. And you always want to make sure that the laces are flat. And it doesn't matter how you start. So I'm going to start with the one on the right and go up to the next eyelet. And once again, you want to make sure that it's flat. Cross it over. And then you want to grab the other tip. You go up to the next eyelet. You always want to make sure that the laces are flat. And you just repeat the same step again. You pick up the other end and you go up to the next eyelet. Pretty easy. Like so. And once again, you pick up the other point of the lace and you go up to the last eyelet. And that's pretty much it, man. Pretty easy. As you can see, all the laces are flat and you can't see any kind of crisscross in between the V, which is what I like. At that point, it's pretty easy when it's time for you to take the shoes off, or if you want to loosen them up to put them on, you just pull on each one. So this one controls this one controls that one, and so on and so forth. So that was my take on how to mirror shine a pair of light brown shoes. Hit the thumbs up if you like this video. Subscribe, or everybody gonna think that you a hater. And I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.